So this workout or instruction or education is all about taking care of you and your body during this time of recovery. So I'm going to give you some quick tips and tricks to start to think about. We've already taken a deep dive into lifting the core, wrapping the TBA, getting back into that very important diaphragmatic breath. Now, how do we use all of this during our everyday lives when we are sitting, reclining, feeding, laughing, sneezing? This video is to cover all of that. So the first thing we're going to think about is getting up and down out of bed. Just like we used to do that side roll during pregnancy, you're going to continue to do it now until we're sure that fascia or that connective tissue between the rectus abdominis, which is your linea alba, which is where diastasis recti occurs. It's a lot of information, I know. We're going to make sure that we're continuing to protect that until it is either closed, on its way to closing, regaining strength, or you've reached that 12-week mark when you're sure that you've done the proper amount of work to strengthen it in order to go about your daily life. So all of that being said, that means that we're going to continue to protect those core muscles as we get down, as we roll over, as we get up, rolling to the side, using that belly pump, that press up to get up versus just bringing yourself up and down through flexion right now. We're eventually going to get to the point where we start to actively work on the engagement of that muscles to get up and down through flexion. But for now, in this very early stage, continue to do that side roll. Then we're going to get ourselves up to standing. Use your core muscles. Coming up to stand, we do a lot of holding baby. And a lot of us tend to use that lower body pooch that's left over from pregnancy for a little while to kind of stack the baby on, push our hips forward, round our upper body forward. So if you find yourself holding a newborn during the day with this posture, I want you to just become aware of it. I want you to think of driving your weight equally through both of your feet. Think of that neutral position of the pelvis, tucking under, taking the tailbone up, finding that spot right in the middle. Find a little bit of that core engagement versus letting yourself sink down into this. I know it feels really good right now, but we're trying to re-strengthen all of these muscles. The other thing that has worked against us during pregnancy is that belly was out in the front. So we've compensated by learning how to shift our weight behind us, roll our shoulders forward, and now that that belly is not here, we're still stuck in this position. So think of bringing your rib cage on top of your hips versus behind yourself. A mirror is helpful here. And then open up, feel that engagement between your shoulder blades and see if you can rock or hold your baby here. Teach this to your partners as well. They're gonna need that same guidance on staying out of pain as they go through these day-to-day motions with a newborn. So we are up and standing, thinking about our posture throughout the day. Now what happens when we start to get up and down out of a seat? Thinking about your glutes. We don't want them to turn off. We don't want to just muscle through or plop down when we're getting up and down. I want you to think of that core breathing belly pump. Lift the pelvic floor, wrap lower, middle, upper abdominal wall. Find your glutes. That means you're going to hinge your hips behind you, even if you've got a baby in your arms, and lower yourself down. Same thing to get back up. If you can get yourself to the edge of the chair, it's gonna help versus starting from back here. So come, scoot yourself up to the edge, drive your weight into your heels. You wanna be able to shift up and forward into your glutes. Belly pump on the way. Exhale. Find your glutes to get up. Getting yourself back down. We are going to think about coming into an incline or recline, not incline, reclining position. So a lot of us will plop down on the couch. We've got that newborn. Maybe we're going to bottle or breastfeed and we kind of just sink back into the seat behind us. Before you head back into that zone, I want you to protect your core up the front of your body. Lift, wrap. The mantra is blow before you go. Blow out, wrap those core muscles to get yourself back into that position where you're gonna be feeding baby. Same thing to get out. Ideally, you can get yourself rolled over to an arm where you can use that arm to press yourself up. If not, and you're in one of those positions where you know you're just gonna muscle through flexion here, you're gonna blow before you go. Breathe out, wrap the core, blow hard. Now as you do this, if you feel yourself cutting off the air, that's called a Valsalva maneuver, and that actually pressurizes down on your pelvic floor. We're trying to heal and strengthen the pelvic floor right now. So as you blow out, make sure that air is coming out without stopping it in your throat to get yourself up. And then one more thing to think about, coughing, sneezing, and laughing. Your core and pelvic floor has been through a lot. We want to make sure that we're bracing when we cough, sneeze, or laugh. A lot of moms, you'll hear just complain or laugh off the fact that they pee their pants every time they cough, sneeze, jump. And it's not just this early stage of postpartum. You'll hear it well into postpartum, even 20, 30 years out. It just becomes something that women start to laugh off. I want you to know that that is not a thing that you have to live with. It's completely fixable. It is strengthening your pelvic floor in the right way to make sure that it has that full range of motion of contract and relax. So those pelvic floor lifts, or those pistons that we have exercised, that quick lift, lower abdominal wrap, hugging the belly in, that is what you're gonna go into when you cough, laugh, sneeze, or jump. So practice a few of those in an upright position. Imagine that you're about to cough. You can even fake it. And think about lifting your pelvic floor, wrapping those core muscles. And I find it helpful to even wrap and hug the belly in that early stage to make sure that you're not pressurizing or pushing out on those abdominal wall muscles. If you have made it through pregnancy and into the stage of postpartum without developing diastasis, you can still develop it in postpartum. So we want to continue to wrap, protect, and strengthen those core muscles. Coughing, sneezing, laughing, piston exhale, deep core wrap. You're on your way.